Broadcasting live. Good evening, Blockhead Nation, and thank you once again for tuning into the show. You are listening to your favorite Blockhead, the only podcast in the podcasting world that can somehow incorporate the Peanuts comic strip 1 minute and then be talking about MMA and warriors inside the octagon the next. I am your host. My name is Brian Little, and it is good to catch up with my guest. As you heard last week, I was a little bit down in the dumps just because the Sam Alvey fight didn't go our way, but I can say this on a positive note. The gentleman that I'm talking to today has been on the show before. The banter between him and LouTrition is hilarious, but today I have him one-on-one coming off of a fresh victory. I have current-day Brave Combat Federation fighter, MMA flyweight, Mr. Jose Shorty Torres. Shorty, welcome back to the Blockhead Hour.
I appreciate having me on. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, Lou is always missing in action. He's right now, I like to pick on him because he's like head over heels with some beautiful, amazing professional singer, which again, I'm probably just hating on him. I'm probably a little jealous, but he's doing his thing, man. Yeah, I can't even get a text back, so I feel like a side chick now. But it's kind of like when he was working with John Jones originally. But this one, he actually loves and appreciates the woman, and she loves and appreciates him back. So I'm happy about that. Good for him. But dude, text me, call me back.
Shots have already been fired at the start of the hour over here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not letting him take his finger off the trigger. Just at least for now, while we have you on, Shorty. If Lou comes on, we'll let him invade and come in hot. But until then, focusing just on your most recent fight that you had. I just watched a couple of your videos pre-fight and post-fight, so congratulations on your victory. But can you, since I have a few new listeners that are not familiar with you, can you walk everybody through your most recent fight that you just came off of?
Yeah, man. I really appreciate the love and support. But man, it was crazy. I was supposed to fight Sean Tantello, a jiu-jitsu fighter. Yes. 5 days before the fight, Blaine O'Driscoll, an Irishman from Conor McGregor's team, SBG Ireland, signs up to fight me at a higher weight class because it was a last-minute fight. Sure. Still part of the tournament. Catch weight, technically at 135, but again, at the higher weight class. And he's a stand-up fighter, so mentally I had to adapt and figure stuff out. But the only problem was a lot of people tagged me in his interview, which is fine with me. And eventually I was like, fine, I'll listen to one of the interviews, only like maybe 5 minutes. And immediately he's like, man, I'm a pressure fighter. I'm a better pressure fighter than Shorty. He's going to shoot first. I know he's going to shoot first. And I'm like, all right, bet. And so instead of me being, a smart fighter, I became a prideful one and decided to make it a Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti type of fight.
Sure.
And we just went back and forth. The only problem was I'm taking damage immediately just because, one, I had some, injuries leading up to the fight. And then two, I guess, sadly, my fighting style. And he took advantage of it, which is awesome. But I got him to actually shoot first. And I was like, I won the stand-up. All right, now fair game. I could take you down. And, the second half of the second round was able to solidify a top game, and then the same thing in the third round. So, man, I was able to win a unanimous decision. I think it was 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. I guess that first round could have gone back and forth, but man, it was a tough fight, and it was one of the fans, fight of the night. So for me, now I move on to the next round, the semifinal, fighting Ali Bagotinov, who is I can't remember his nickname, but he's just like the Russian assassin, like the Russian destroyer. He's a guy who fought for the title for the UFC. He sadly lost, but he's a 30+ fight veteran. His accolades are literally like like Santa's naughty list. The thing just goes on and on and on. So man, he is a phenomenal guy, and I'm excited and having the honor to fight him.
In a way, you kind of already answered my other question, just because there are some that listen to my show that might not be familiar with the Grand Prix and how that works. But I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask, moving forward, do we have an updated bracket? And you already mentioned on here, we know who your next fighter is. So congratulations again on getting fight of the night, man. That is so awesome. But also knowing who to anticipate for and getting your training camp going. But I have to throw it out here now, because I will be plugging this. You have been keeping up with your fans through your YouTube page, which is Team Shorty. So can you kind of walk the listeners through about what episodes you're on? Like the last one you did a food review. What can we expect with Inside Team Shorty moving forward at this point?
Yeah, man, as you can tell with these chubby cheeks, I've been enjoying myself food-wise. And I gained weight very, very fast. So yeah, I was called for not a last minute fight, but a fight, possibly in June. But I going into this last one, I have a torn ligament in my foot and I can't move without shoes on. And I was barely even able to move with shoes off, inside the fight, so I want to be able to be 100%, especially fighting a good veteran. Plus, I had a 6-month training camp because of COVID. I want to be able to be home, spend time with my lonely mother, my grandmother who's 93, spend as much time as I can before I leave for a possible 2-3 month camp again, which I leave May 2nd back to it just to overall stay, ready and see what happens with Brave. I'm hoping in July, but nothing's, official, no date, no place, no whatever. But, he is a very, very tough opponent. And, I'm excited to get into this training camp. When you fight someone, especially myself, when you fight someone who has more accolades, who has a bigger record, which that hasn't happened for me in a good while, that I truly, truly respect. Now the best meat pops out. With Blaine O'Driscoll, this is not belittling him whatsoever. It's I knew the wrestling I was gonna win, but the stand-up game is something I was excited about. I got prideful, and again, I should have been an MMA fighter. And I would have made the fight a little easier, but it is what it is. With this one, I know I have to be a very, very smart fighter, and I'm excited for it. So I believe the best Shorty Torres are going to come out. But with the YouTube series, man, I decided to while I was cutting weight, I decided to watch a lot of food. It's like food porn for me. Like I'm like, oh, I want to eat this when I get home, eat that when I get home. And so for me, I only saw big businesses, the big branches, and I'm like, man, what happened to the mom and pop shops? Like, I'd love to see the diamonds in the rough. I love to see the small places. And in doing so, I just decided to hit up local mom and pop shops, hired a videographer, give him 100% out of my pocket, and telling these guys, like, hey, I want to do a food review. Just treat us for the day. And, we'll have some fun. And it's just free marketing, free publicity for these guys. And hopefully it helps you guys come back, especially after COVID. Bars and small local restaurants really got shut down. And then with my mental series stuff, so hopefully every episode comes out on Wednesday. But with the mental series, man, people ask me questions before the fight, made a video, before the fight. People ask me questions about after the fight. I posted a video after the fight. So mentally, I want to give you guys the inside detail of how I go through some of my traumas or mental battles or my demons, if you want to say, or even just overall how I prepare myself for a fight. So I'm doing that as well. And then slowly, when I get back May 2nd, start my training camp and start another video series doing that. So I just want to be able to help out as much as possible. And again, it's all free for everyone. So if people want to follow me, Jose Shorty Torres on Instagram, and eventually everything's coming off on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And YouTube, man, that would be awesome. People can support Team Shorty, and it's I'm hoping everything works out well.
Well, I can tell you, you're going to get a lot of support from the Blockhead Nation and also the YFB Network that's coming in. I have a little surprise for you. As I admit him in, it looks like we're going to have the banter after all at this point. But while I have you here, Shorty, I'm going to keep on rolling at this point. My thoughts are, we just had a weigh-in, and I will let him speak if he wants to. And we have somebody that did not make weight. So my question is, just for some of my new listeners that are not familiar with the process, you've gone through a lot of weight cuts. You've made weight so many times. What do you see coming out of this recent person who didn't make weight? Do you see, do they have a legitimate excuse for not making it? Should they just not show up? Kind of walk my listeners through what fighters face when it comes to cutting weight.
I don't know the details of who missed weight and by how much, but with that being said, it is your job as a professional to make the weight. That's why I always tell people, invest in yourself, hire a nutritionist, dietitian, somebody you trust and believe in that's going to help you, worry about the fight instead of worrying about cutting weight. But with people cutting weight, man, there are things that just happen. You don't have access to a sauna, a hot tub, the water's cold. Outside things you just possibly can't control. The travel, I mean, for me to Bahrain is about 18-hour day, 24-hour day. The jet lag, you hold water, maybe you get food poisoning, which I've heard before. Some people get injured while cutting weight because they cut weight too fast. Or injuries happen. You have Tony Ferguson stepping over a wire and tripping over a wire, and then the fight's over. So there's a bunch of outside things where, if it's a couple pounds, man, it happens. It sadly does happen, and maybe you just miscalculated. But there's some people who miss weight by 7 some pounds. One, maybe they just didn't care, or there were some outside things that they just couldn't control, and they still wanted to fight. And I think it's a very noble thing, even though at least on that side, if you cared about making weight and didn't make weight and couldn't control the outside circumstances, making, stepping on that scale 7 pounds over and going, I'm still in front of you guys. Yeah, I'll take the shame. I'll take the, all the negativity if I have to. So, it's a crazy thing, but you got to be professional, and you have to hire a nutritionist. I think that's the biggest thing. That's why I have Lou. So, but if you have a different guy, that would be awesome. I'll take it.
He's certainly a lot nicer to him now that you're on. There were a few shots fired earlier. You can hear if you listen back to the podcast. But LouTrition has actually invaded the YFB hour. So, Lou, I'm glad to see you, buddy. I'm glad you can come on. But the last discussion we were having is I just happened to notice breaking news that there was a fighter who didn't make weight. You've been on so many instances on this. Can I throw it over to you if you can concur with Shorty, or do you want to just take some jabs at him? The floor is yours at this point, my friend.
It's really easy to take jabs at Shorty because his head is so big, so you can't miss. Really, it doesn't. You don't even have to be. You don't even have to be good at throwing anything, really. But first, it's a pleasure to be on. I'm sorry, the miscommunication. Traveling has been crazy for me. I've been actually traveling with my girlfriend, who's a recording artist. So we were in LA, we were in Vegas.
Yeah, sure.
So we just got to Atlanta. Literally, I just woke up 20 minutes ago, and it's almost 7 p.m. So, our schedules have been crazy. But,
wow.
It's a great question, and one that we've been talking about for years and years and years. And I do agree with a lot of the things that Shorty said. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that fighters make, or people in general, when it comes to weight loss in general, people forget that fighters are actually people too, whereas they struggle with food addictions just like most people. Remember, there are a lot of people, there's a reason that we're one of the heaviest nations in the world, because food is a drug, and a lot of people are addicted to food, and it's not an easy thing to overcome. And fighters are people too, and they struggle just as much, but I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make, especially with fighters, I've been on both sides, right? I've had a lot of fighters make weight, look great, feel great, win, and then I've had some fighters who had missed weight. And it's the same thing almost every time. Whereas once you do it once or twice, and Shorty and I have talked about this plenty of times, the first few times that him and I worked together, we made weight so easy.
Yeah.
He listened really well. That was really part of the solution. He listened
that was
really well.
The whole moral of the story.
Right. But no, what happens is you get a false sense of security where you're like, oh, I did that already. It's real easy. So then you start waiting a little bit longer. You get a little bit heavier. And you keep telling yourself, oh, I still have time. And then it gets to the point, and again, Shorty, and I've done this, where it's like, you go in with a plan where you only want to cut 10 pounds. And then, as you're getting closer, you're like, well, I've done 12 before. Well, I've done 15 before. All right, worst case scenario, I've cut 26 pounds in 9 days, so I can do. And that's what happens. But to be honest with you, and a lot of people might not like my answer, and I've been dealing with that my whole career because I just keep it real. I don't think there's an excuse for missing weight. I just don't. I came on the scene in 2015, and I was the only person that said this, that if you manage your weight all year long, which the percentage of people that do that are very, 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 very small. If you manage your weight all year long, Shorty, no more than 15 pounds max above your weight class, you'll make weight every time safely and effectively. And most people don't. And I'm sorry, I just don't think there really is an excuse for missing weight. Certainly not by an absurd amount, like 7+ pounds. That's just my opinion.
I'm with you on that one, Luke. That's kind of why I threw that out there, because I know I get the perspective from the fighter, I get the one from the nutritionist. You guys have been on before, and you've enlightened me many times and been very supportive of my show. But I also promised Shorty that I wouldn't go too long into it, so I got to ask him a couple of my key points. You're welcome to jump in, Lou. I will give you a chance to get your plugs, I promise. As far as the main event that's coming up this weekend, your look-alike, your not so much name twin, but the fighter that almost is a mirror reflection of you, Shorty, is fighting the Reaper from Australia.
Same
Robert
weight
Whittaker.
too. It's about the same
I was about to say
weight.
the weight and everything is the same.
Yeah, the weight and everything is the same. Yeah.
But exactly, it's almost scary. But I get a chance for you to plug your Kelvin Gastelum on this one. What can we anticipate for those who watch this Saturday and watch the fight?
If you watch me fight, him and I have actually almost very, very similar styles as well. So I think it's gonna be a scrap. I don't believe he's gonna try to take Whitaker down. I think he's gonna try to keep it a stand-up battle. And Matt Gastelum has some really good hands, and he's a very, very smart fighter. Yeah, he might be kind of a Nacho Libre-esque type fighter like myself, but man, we have fun. He likes to brawl. He puts on a fan entertaining show, and even if he doesn't get the win, the fans are gonna be happy, and that's why he's still at the top of the game, even at a higher weight class, which I still 100% I should be. And two, when it comes to Lou being 15 pounds overweight, one, you damn well know I'm not gonna be able to do that. Two,
you
damn
used to
well
be able
know-
to do that.
no. Two, you damn well know I'm not gonna be happy at all. And three, the reason why I'm now bigger than where we originally started is because I got so confident in your ability
Here we
to help
go.
me cut
Here we
weight
go. Yeah.
that I go,
That's
you
his
know
excuse
what?
all the
Let
time.
me enjoy
Yeah.
more food, enjoy more
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
because then I
He likes to
really have
challenge
to
how good I
listen
really am.
to Lou to cut weight.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
doing that now. Well, not right now. Definitely not right now.
Definitely not right now. Yeah.
But when I get back, because I gotta fit into a suit after this.
Oh, so you'll be calling me again.
Yeah,
Nice.
well,
yes.
I call you a lot. You just have to pick up.
That is true. That is true. I can't say that that's not true. That is very true. But
I just want to say this is really weird. I actually am. It's kind of weird how our roles have kind of reversed here. That I'm able to contact your girlfriend more than I'm able to contact you.
Oh yeah, the other
brother.
day we were driving in the car and she looks at me. She's like, She goes, "Can you call Shorty?" I said, "Excuse me." She goes, "Yeah, he's trying to get in touch with you." I was like, "Oh, that's where we're going now." But yeah, no, it is true, and that's bullshit. You absolutely can manage your weight, 15 to 20 pounds. I'll give you a little bit more leeway. You know what it is, and people forget this when it comes to cutting weight, because they always talk about how bad it is for the body, which it is. If you extremely cut weight, but you're dehydrating the brain, which is one of the worst things. People don't understand that.
Sure.
So they think the solution is to go up in weight, but then what happens is they gain more weight. Like, oh, well, I got an extra 10 pounds, so I could be 10 pounds heavier. It's just about being disciplined when it comes to that, and most people do struggle with that for sure.
Fair enough. I'm glad you brought that up. Again, I'm just as a fan, I'm excited to see both of these guys go at it. Those are two of my favorite fighters for the main event, just to get your thoughts. But Shorty, I also have to throw one more thing over to you at this point before I can start to get the banter between you two again. It's kind of hard to break those up sometimes, but at least on this one, I remember looking recently at one of your pics, and it did show you were taking a picture on Instagram that was with Curtis Blades. Now, I'm not sure how much his association is with you guys. Did he just stop by the gym, or is he actually associated with Team Shorty? What are some of your relationships and your knowledge of one Curtis Blades?
Oh man, Curtis Blades and I met him at the end of my high school career. He's a little older than I am, but we went to college together. He went to Harper College. I went to Triton, and we were in the same conference. So our teams competed against each other. He was a national champ. I was an All-American, so I took top 4 in the nation. And man, I've known him really, and we've been really good friends ever since college. So when we both graduated, yeah, we did our own things, but he didn't transfer to university. So he was like, I just want to start an MMA career. I want to learn how to fight. Sign them up to my gym. And my friends brought him to my gym, and we just started taking him to kickboxing tournaments and this and that. And because he's a heavyweight and a very talented one, we had him fight some really good guys. And we're like, if you win this tournament, you can go pro. You win this tournament, you can do this. And he won everything. He was undefeated as amateur. Same thing with kickboxing. Then goes pro a little, again, too soon to my liking. That's why when he fought Francis Ngannou his very first time, he was training at a UFC gym. He wasn't training with high level guys. He was still very, very green. But Curtis is one of my best friends, man. I love the guy to death. He's from Chicago as well, so he's maybe 20 minutes away from my house when he's back home. And right now, he lives in Colorado, and I used to train at Team Elevation, so I used to live with him and travel back and forth. And I'm hoping to see him very, very soon. But these are my good guys, man. So I need every once in a while, I'll give him a shirt. He'll give me a shirt. We'll cross promote, have some fun, represent Chicago guys. And he's one of the best ranked guys, not just from Chicago, but in the world right now as a heavyweight. And it's amazing. So maybe in a couple meals, I'll be at heavyweight too, and I'll compete against him. Dolce approved, and we'll just go from there.
Certainly Dolce approved that. He wants you as heavy as possible, which I mean, it makes sense for you to actually work with him because you do enjoy being as heavy as possible. You do like to say that you want to challenge, my skills and my knowledge and my ability. And I like to say that we've made weight every time, clearly. However, I think we should get up to like 185, which is probably 4 pounds away from where you are right now.
I was about to say, it's not too hard. If I just want to say this. No. So I did 4 review videos in 4 days. Dude,
you gained 12 pounds easy.
I literally wanted to puke because I took my brother to a place. I'm like, Londo, we're having 2 restaurants at the same time. So you need to pace yourself. We're going to fast going in there. You need to pace yourself. So he's starving. It's 2 restaurants at the same time, but they need to show us their menu. 2 appetizers at one place, 2 appetizers, another place, 2 entrees, 2 entrees, 2 desserts, 2 desserts. This guy gets the appetizer.
You see what I deal with?
Whoa. He gets the appetizer. It's like nacho fries. They're amazing. He looks at it and devours the whole thing. And he's like, man, that was awesome. I was like, are you full? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, dude, we have like 10 more meals coming and you just started this. Like, you're already on camera. And eventually we made fun of him. He almost threw up and we had to kick him out. And I replaced him halfway through the film.
Oh, gosh.
Sounds about right. Shout out to Lon.
I have to intervene here just for a second, simply because listeners, Blockhead Nation, this is why I love having one or the other, but the 2 of these and their banter between each other, if you're not following on Instagram Live, you're going to miss some of these gems. You're getting some of them now. So, again, Lou, I can kind of throw this over to you and let y'all banter a little back and forth. Kind of walk through my new listeners through where this all started, where you guys started making lives, taking jabs at each other, and what it's escalated to at this point in 2021. What you got, buddy?
I would say that our foundation, Shorty and I's foundation, shout out to Team Shorty Foundation, first of all.
Sure.
But our foundation of a friendship was certainly a slow build because of many different reasons. I was at the time, I was working with greatest fighters in the world, and Shorty didn't even make his pro debut yet. And I was like, sure, I'll help this little peasant. Why not? I got to give some scraps to the lower level people while I'm on the top of this mountain that I was on. And, Shorty really looked up to me, not because he's 4'3" and I'm 6'2", but, he looked up to me because, who I was and who I was working with. And it's ironic and funny because the tables turned very quickly, where I stopped working with a lot of these fighters, and Shorty started to gain a lot of momentum and notoriety, and he became really the bigger of the 2, not just in weight but also in fame, in the sense. And I started looking up to him. To be honest, I'll be nice for a second. Looking up to him and just seeing what he was able to do, and just how genuine and loyal he was, and our friendship started to grow a little bit. And when I wanted to leave the industry for a lot of reasons, he jumped on a plane, flew to my house in New Jersey, and was like, you're not leaving the industry. We're gonna, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna show these people that what you're talking about. And it was a really, it was a tough moment for me because I did want to leave the industry. And that's kind of when we started doing a lot of live videos together, because I don't think at that time you can do live separately except for maybe Facebook, right, Shorty?
Yeah,
so we were doing. Yeah, so it was in the wintertime. He flew out to me and we started our sauna chronicles because we had to sit in a sauna for like 45 minutes, and we're like, we need to entertain ourselves. And we went on live one night, and the feedback was just like, we were just being ourselves. We weren't putting on a show. Shorty and I never put on a show. We don't ever pretend to be funny. We don't try to be funny. What you see really is what you get. This is how we are, and probably worse off, when we're not being watched by people, but we started
how many live videos did we delete?
Every one of them. But we at least go live. We don't save them because, God forbid.
I can vouch for that because I go back looking for those, and I'm going,
no, you'll never. Yeah, no. You might find like a 3-minute clip of a sauna chronicle, but that's about it. But that's when
lucky,
that's when it started. I want to say in like 2016, 2017, maybe. And we used it as a tool to kind of keep our minds off of cutting weight and all that stuff. And I think also Shorty was using it as a way to get my mind off of being in a depressed state and like just having fun, because he knows better than anybody. There for many years I really wasn't having fun at all. And the banter just started and then continued, and we developed a real genuine friendship and trust. And so we love the banter that we have because it's genuine, it's real, it's funny. And if you know us, there's a lot of gems that we drop that you'll see a few people be like, oh, I can't believe you just said that. And other people are like, what are you even talking about? And thank God people really don't know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But that's probably when it started. And you know, that's going to turn into a lot of things. Shorty and I have a lot of things that we've been working on and want to unleash because, you know, we realize that it does two things. It helps us, but it also helps other people. You know, it makes people laugh, but we also try to educate and help people. And it's always funny making fun of the smaller, bigger guy.
You know, it's crazy that, you know, how the peasants become kings and the kings become peasants. It's weird.
Watch that now.
As we continue the shoots and the trash talk, I think that in a way that's a nice little segue for both of you guys, because I'm actually excited that I can say this about Lou. You do have a book that's about to be released, or at least it's either done. Can you walk the listeners through what we can anticipate with this new book coming up?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, it's funny because I thought the title of the book is "Change is the Only Constant," which is so much irony behind that because I literally thought I finished the book maybe 5 separate times, and then it kept changing and changing, and then I finished the book several. I want to say maybe back in December. Finished the book. Cover is done. Shout out to my man Dub who did the cover for me. Everything is done. The book is "Change is the Only Constant," and basically it's a personal journey that I wrote about myself, using, you know, perception, choice, laughter, love, fear, and then acceptance, you know, and I finished the book. I'm really proud of it. It's something that I'm very, very proud of, and I wanted to get out. So I had it formatted. Everything is done. And I contacted a company to print the book for me. And we were in print, and then they shut down. And then I started looking for other companies. Got a little discouraged. I've been working on this project for 10 plus years. And then, you know, I've been, you know, with my girlfriend, traveling with her, watching her work, and just kind of inspired me and motivated me in a little bit of a different way. And so I added a little bit more to the book recently. So now the book is actually going to be, the book is going to be coming out within the next few weeks. I found another company to make the book, so I'm really excited to put that out and probably have 2 people buy it, my mother being one of them. So, but I'm excited about it.
It will end up on the bookshelf over here at the Blockhead Mansion, I promise you. And it will be plugged often.
Thank you.
On the Blockhead Nation and through the YFB Network. Trust me, they're going to want to support you guys. Those who have not been following Shorty and Lou at this point, I believe I've talked you into the building. But Shorty, I know we talked about a time span. I don't want to keep you too long, but this is your chance to promote anything.
He's probably hungry. He probably has to go eat something. So this is, I think this has been the longest
chance to promote Team Shorty here, but
this is probably the longest he's gone without putting something in his mouth. So, you know.
I was like, I've been watching off air the entire time. This is actually my break in between meals.
All right. Well, 4 minutes. Wow, that must be a record.
Dude, it's been a while. We were here a little longer. You know, I just want to say I'm upset that you pick up his call and you know, immediately jump on, because I mean, we've been playing phone tag for quite a while. When I say phone tag, I mean I've been doing all the work, and he calls me back once, and then to pretty much tell me, hey, I'll call you back in 2 minutes, and then doesn't call me back for like,
you know, like when you're like messaging a girl that you really like, she doesn't really like you, and
oh, my hands feel so
you look at the feed and you send 75 messages and she just replies with 1-word responses, ignores the 75 things prior.
Oh, this sounds like my ex-girlfriend. Wow. This is really coincidence.
Listen, you know what? I'm enjoying my life right now. Life is good. I'm very happy. I'm just enjoying myself. Shout out to my girlfriend Rachel Lauren. Check out her music because it's phenomenal. I'm just having a good time, and you know, Shorty brings me down sometimes. You know, to his level.
I definitely bring you down to my level. You know, because you look up to me, and you know, it's right. One of those things that you know, is that morning coffee. What is it, like 7 p.m.? Dude, check your heart rate.
Yeah, it is. Okay? It's 7 p.m. That's my second. I literally just woke up 20 minutes ago.
I can tell you this. I am probably envious of you. Yeah, I was like, you know what, man, this guy never picks up my calls. This, that, he got this girlfriend. He's a simp, yada, yada, yada.
He's a what? What was that last
right now?
He's a what?
Huh? I was like, oh, he's a simp. He's that guy that's like all on her. He's not leaving her alone. Then I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had that right now.
And all of a sudden,
Exactly.
he shows up on the Blockhead Hour. I mean, of all places, I know. I guess you'll have some things to iron out after this. But as far as Team Shorty goes, what's something we should be promoting more? Because I'm more than planning on doing that.
For sure. So before I say that, this whole interview with Lou randomly, like I'm talking smack, and then Lou pops in. It pops out like WWE, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You just hear the
glass shattering in the back.
Like, what'd you say? What'd you say? So, but no, yeah, man, the Team Shorty Foundation, we're actually doing something May 22nd for Lake Worth High School, in Florida. Hopefully everything, works out well when I get to promote it long enough. But we're going to be donating a few $1,000s worth of just sports equipment. Pretty much that school is underfunded when it comes to baseball gear, football gear, all sports equipment. So we're doing a survey right now. Going to be donating rash guards, baseball gear, football, soccer. I mean, you name it, whatever sport they have, we're going to try to donate as much gear as possible. Looking for donations soon. And we are a partner with the company, which they want to be left out. They don't want to have their name on there, anonymous. And, man, it's awesome to know that people want to help out as much as possible. So we're going to donate to these kids. I'll be doing a speech as well, just having some fun with them. And hopefully it helps change some lives. If not, get them motivated to have fun in the summer and come back the next year for high school and push through for whatever professional sport they might want to achieve or, moving on to college. But for people who want to donate, everything's on teamshorty.com. Learn more about the foundation. And then just over on my YouTube series, Team Shorty on YouTube. You see my food review series sponsored by LouTrition. You see my mental series where I talk about the ins and outs and the inside game about this sport, the demons, whatever the case may be. And then my training camp, which is going to be revamped, hopefully starting like the second week of May. But man, follow my IG, Jose Shorty Torres, where I have a lot of fun. Definitely eat a lot of food, especially right now. Shout out to Lou. And, doing my thing. I just want to say the fatter I get, Lou, I feel like the skinnier you get. It's really weird how that works.
Yeah, that's actually a very true statement.
It's
because
I guarantee you.
I practice what I preach.
You practice what you preach.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Shorty, that all those links that you just mentioned, those will be up. I guarantee you. Everybody that listens to this show, they'll know. Go to yourfavoriteblockhead.com/blog, and all the links for Team Shorty are going to be on there. Everything for LouTrition, I can even throw up as well, LouTrition.net or any other projects that are coming up.
You still have a website,
at this point, guys, I'm sorry.
I was like, you still have a website, Lou?
I have no idea. I have no idea. You check for me. I don't know.
Does it
say
if
it's up or not?
I'll pull whatever I can get out of the internet world.
I don't even know what those are.
Yeah. Either way, they will be able to find you guys, and we'll be able to, and especially when the day comes when y'all have some banter on Instagram Live again, they won't be missing at this point.
Yeah, well, you can't miss Shorty. You can't miss him. He's too big. Between his head and his body, you can't miss him. And that's just what it is. But yeah, just LouTrition.
Lose something you just don't want to miss, but I'm saying it in the emotional way.
Oh, you do care.
Oh, brother. On that note, as they iron some things out at this point, I leave one last thing for you guys. Lou, Short, is there anything you want to share at the Blockhead Nation before I bid you guys adieu? A message for the listeners if they heard nothing else. You want to get this message out before we part ways?
Go ahead. Shortest, tallest, the tallest, the shortest.
Shortest, the tallest. Good.
I appreciate a lot of support from everyone else besides Lou because he doesn't call me back. And man, it's a crazy journey. I hope you guys enjoy my last fight. Hopefully you enjoy my next fight coming up. Hopefully in July. I have no clue when, no clue where, but until then we will together. We're a Team Shorty. And again, please follow my Instagram where I'll be putting everything out there, and I hope you all tune in, especially for my food series. I'm trying to help local businesses come out, especially come back up after COVID, all local mom and pop shops. And then also I think subconsciously to piss Lou off a little more. So
beautiful. Lou, since he's already ticked off at me, you have any comments you want to give on the back end here?
I'm just gonna ignore him like I do every day for the past several months.
Look at his missed calls. Look at his missed calls.
Yeah, I could screenshot that, and then I could also video record the messages, and you can see all of his versus my replies. But first, I wanted to say thank you for even having me on the show. I apologize again for jumping on late. You are my favorite blockhead, and I love the show. And I wouldn't be me, especially ironically, I'm having my coffee. I didn't do a morning coffee video on my Instagram, so I'll do one for you on your show.
Awesome.
On the spot, try to give some mental nutrition. And here's the thing, you know, this past year or so, obviously with what's been going on, you know, Instagram has been flooded with a lot of different trainers and motivational speakers trying to inspire and motivate people. And I really believe that it did more harm than good. And it's real simple. You know, you have to understand that you yourself are between your ears 24/7. I don't care what kind of support system you have, and you need a support system. You need other people for sure, but you have to rely on yourself, and you have to know that it's okay. You know, everything that you have done, all the things that you have done that have led you to where you're at mentally, physically, and emotionally, you have to make peace with it. If you do not make peace with those things, then you're not going to be able to get further and further, because even if you do get further, the things that you didn't make peace on are what's going to drag you back. So I want you to know, for what it's worth, that it's okay. You know, I care about you. I love you. I appreciate you, and know that you're not alone. And everything is going to be okay as long as you make peace with those things in your head. And just, it's okay to stop and give up, but not permanently. You know, sometimes you have to give up a little bit, but just don't do it permanently, and know that you're never alone. And I appreciate you very much. And I'll continue doing all the things that I can, including ignoring Shorty. And, you know, and that's really it.
With that being said, I like to give up on my diet, every once in a while. Not permanently.
You have, obviously,
but,
all the
definitely
time.
not permanently.
So, yeah.
And then,
you
be
have.
able to get help, knowing I'm not alone out there, except with Lou. I'm alone even if I'm next to him, because, well, look at his soul. But it's part of the process. And
my soul's alive actually now, but just not for you.
Now you're smiling. You're like the Grim Reaper wearing a white cloak now.
Right.
Blockhead Nation, Wife Me Network, we've had so many mic drops and pickup and mic drops and pickup at this point.
I want to hit him with the mic. If I can hit him with the mic, that would be great.
You'd have to
You might actually believe that if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, you need a ladder to do that. And you're just never mind. I'm gonna be quiet. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate you.
It's like, we're gonna let this guy outro out. We're gonna let him outro out.
Yeah.
This will continue on in another match that's going to take place on Instagram Live. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard Jose Shorty Torres of Brave Combat. You have heard LouTrition. His new book's coming out soon. All of these links to make sure you have access to these guys will be on yourfavoriteblockhead.com/blog, and all the other links. You don't have an excuse to not find them. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, Shorty Torres, thank you so much for your time. LouTrition, thank you for coming, man. You guys are always welcome.
Appreciate you.
You guys adieu.
Thank you, Shorty. Don't call me because I'm not answering. I'm busy.
I just want to say, if you guys need toilet paper, buy Lou's book. They're thick pages.
No, not really. But you can still use it, though, for sure.
Oh, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and close the book now. Hopefully, it won't be Lou's book. It
Shorty,
will be coming out fairly soon.
You taking your girlfriend out to dinner tonight?
Oh, shots.
I'm telling you, it's getting nasty over here at this point. This is where I just go ahead and put the audience clap in the background. We will see you guys next Saturday. Same Blockhead time, same Blockhead channel. Love you all and love you guys.
Oh, man. Take care. I appreciate all the love, man.